Tired of the negativity? Looking for a shot of optimism? Well, I have an inspiring story to make you smile right after this. This episode of Misfits and Crackpots is brought to you by the Well-Crafted Story Workshop. Struggling to connect with your audience and attract new clients? Transform your speaking skills at the Well-Crafted Story Workshop with Coach Jimmy Hayes Nelson and yours truly, Dr. Danny Brissell. In just 2 days, master the art of crafting compelling speeches that convert listeners into clients. Whether in-person or virtual, you'll get personalized attention in an intimate group, learning not just from expert coaches, but from fellow entrepreneurs. Don't let another opportunity slip away. Get your free story blueprint today at wellcraftedstoryworkshop.com and turn your story into your most powerful business tool. Your success starts here. Visit wellcraftedstoryworkshop.com now. You're just a well-crafted story away from 7 figures. Hello there, my friend, and welcome to Misfits and Crackpots, short, inspiring stories for busy people. I'm Dr. Danny Brissell. This is a podcast for those interested in extraordinary stories about ordinary people and companies. Consider it your dose of positivity and inspiration for the week. Joyce Meyer said, "We can improve our relationships with others by leaps and bounds if we become encouragers instead of critics." This week's success strategy: build relationships. Jan Koum entered the world in a small, cold apartment in Ukraine in 1976. His reality was one of scarcity, where the chill of the Cold War was felt not just in politics, but in the everyday struggle for basic amenities. His home had no hot water. His family had no car. His father, a construction manager, and his mother, a housewife, lived under the watchful eye of an oppressive communist regime. They avoided talking on the phone for fear of being tapped by the government. Growing up Jewish and a rebellious little kid, Jan lived in a village outside Kiev that was so run down that his school did not even have an inside bathroom. Imagine the Ukrainian winter, negative 20 degrees centigrade, where little kids have to stroll across the parking lot to use the bathroom, he would later say. Society was extremely closed off. You can read 1984, but living there was experiencing it. I didn't have a computer until I was 19, but I did have an abacus. In 1992, when Jan was 16, he emigrated to California with his mother and grandmother. Dad stayed behind, which was hard on Jan. His mother worked as a babysitter, and it provided paltry wages. To make ends meet, they received federal assistance, welfare, food stamps, and government housing. Poverty-stricken, the teenagers supplemented their income by working as a janitor at a grocery store. As a high school student, Jan was the kid in class whose family didn't have a car, so he had to get up at 6 a.m. to get the bus. He didn't speak much English, and he got into trouble for bullying people who bullied him. "I'm 6'2", he would later point out. Growing up in Ukraine is not easy, and it prepares you for a lot of things physically and mentally. Jan's father intended to join his wife and son after they were settled, but he became ill and died 5 years later, never being able to see his family again. Adding to the tragedy, Jan's mother was diagnosed with cancer. She died of it only 3 years after Jan's father died. At 18, Jan discovered a passion for technology and taught himself computer networking through the study of manuals. He didn't have the money to pay for new manuals, so he bought them from a used bookshop and returned them after he'd read them to save money. Jan also enrolled at San Jose State University, but soon dropped out. "I studied computer science and maths," he later said, "and was equally bad at both and bored." After a few years of fine-tuning his skills, Jan joined a hacker group in 1996 called WooWoo, where he advanced his computer skills and networking with other obsessed programmers. He also took on a series of jobs to make ends meet, from bagging groceries to working at Fry's electronics store. While working part-time as a security tester at Ernst & Young, he met Yahoo co-founder David Filo, who persuaded him to join the company. Yahoo was a melting pot of talent, ambition, and innovation. For Jan, it was an invaluable learning ground. He was a software engineer diving deep into the intricacies of internet infrastructure, honing his skills and absorbing the ethos of Silicon Valley. But more than the technical skills, it was the culture of Yahoo, fast-paced, dynamic, and, at times, ruthless, that shaped Jan's approach to business and technology. It would also place him in the midst of some of the brightest minds in technology, including a certain Brian Acton, a Stanford University graduate who had already made his mark at Apple before joining Yahoo as its 44th employee. Assigned to inspect Yahoo's advertising system as a security tester, Jan's straightforward approach caught Brian's attention. Brian, who had been focusing on advertising and data processing, found in Jan a kindred spirit. He saw Jan as someone who had faced adversity and emerged not just unscathed, but stronger. Jan, on the other hand, found in Brian a mentor and a friend, someone who shared his vision of a more user-centric approach to technology. Both men appreciated each other's no-nonsense style, and both men were disillusioned with the corporate grind and shared a skepticism of the burgeoning ad-driven model of internet businesses. By 2007, Jan and Brian had grown weary of Yahoo. The company was changing, moving further away from the ideals that had initially attracted them. The internet was evolving, and with it, the opportunities for innovation. Together, they made a decision that would alter the course of their lives. They quit. Their departure from Yahoo was not a retreat, but a recalibration. They traveled through South America for a year, playing ultimate frisbee and discussing the future of technology. These conversations, often casual, laid the groundwork for what was to come. It was a period of reflection and ultimately revelation. After their trip, both of them applied to work for Facebook, but were rejected. That would be a costly mistake for Facebook. During a movie night in 2009, Jan had an epiphany. He owned an iPhone and realized that the 7-month-old App Store was about to spawn a whole new industry of apps. Jan envisioned a service that could send notifications to friends, a simple idea that soon morphed into something much bigger. Brian, always the optimist, encouraged Jan to pursue this idea, even when Jan doubted its viability. Despite a slow start and initial rejections from companies like Facebook and Twitter, the duo persisted. With $250,000 in seed funding from old Yahoo colleagues, Brian officially joined Jan as a co-founder. They were the perfect business partners. Brian, the optimist, handled the financial side, while Jan, more cautious and product-focused, served as CEO. Their shared disdain for advertisements led to a clear vision for their product. No ads, no games, no gimmicks. Their simple app was an unassuming yet powerful tool designed to let people know what they were up to. Users would post status updates like "at the gym" and "battery about to die." But as the app evolved, so did its purpose. It became more than just a tool for status updates. It transformed into a means of communication, breaking down barriers across countries. Connecting people in an unprecedented way, the app tapped into existing relationships, allowing people to communicate without interference. It was simple, reliable, and, most importantly to Jan and Brian, it respected the privacy of its users. In 2014, Facebook, the same company that rejected Brian and Jan for jobs, acquired their company for $19 billion. Jan, the Ukrainian immigrant who had once swept floors in a grocery store, signed the paperwork for the deal on the door of the old welfare office his mother used to frequent to get their food stamps. Jan Koum and Brian Acton didn't just create an app. They revolutionized the way we connect. Today, people around the world can connect, network, and build relationships because of their company. WhatsApp. See, friend, inspiration is all around us. You just have to look for it. Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another inspiring story about misfits and crackpots. Misfits and Crackpots is a production of Success Media, produced by Terrence Wishner. Sound effects by Alessandro Lucati, courtesy of Pixabay. Thank you for tuning in. If you love today's story, there's so much more to explore in the book Misfits and Crackpots by yours truly, Dr. Danny Brissell. Grab your copy now on Amazon and dive deeper into the extraordinary lives of those who dared to change the world. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with fellow misfits who love inspiring stories. See you next time.